What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with another Megaman X character overview video. Today we're on my Taiwan account taking a look at Base Cross Megaman, as he is the next character that will be released in the global version of X. Alright, so taking a look here at Base Cross Megaman's kit. I love the intro for this here. Alright, cool. Let's take a look at the splash screen real quick. Very nice there. Now let's look at the active skills of Base Cross Megaman. First up, we have the charge shot, like most Mega Man or X variants tend to have. Launch a scatter shot with 3 energy rounds at once to deal 15% attack damage, roughly 15% attack damage to the target. Can be charged to unleash a more powerful energy round when maximum charge is reached. Launch 3 straight energy rounds to deal 15 times more damage. And for the modifier chips here, which have some interesting things. First up, we have accelerate charge. The time required to reach maximum charge is reduced by 25% there. Next up, we have Hell's Rolling, which I really like. Switch to Hell's Rolling that moves along the ground, dealing damage to all targets in its path. When it penetrates target, it deals 50 per damage to reduce to 50%. Okay, I had to pull up the wiki here real quick just so I can get some damage numbers on the Hell's Rolling. So the Hell's Rolling damage is about 343% attack damage there, which is quite nice. And I think you get 3 charges of that, so that's potentially a lot of damage there. And finally, we have complete penetration. When the maximum charge is achieved, the rockets can pass through landscapes and barriers, which is also quite nice there. Now, the difference between Hell's Rolling and the charge shot is this. Well, one, this has to be charged, as opposed to the Hell's Rolling, which can do a lot of damage. Doesn't need to be charged, and I actually like this a lot more. However, the trade-off with that is how Hell's Rolling travels along the ground and does not penetrate terrain. With this, you are allowed to penetrate terrain, and it'll auto-aim and go through walls and stuff like that, so it doesn't have to travel along the ground to hit something. Depending on the map that you're in for PvP, you might want to use Hell's Rolling over complete penetration, though. And then accelerate charge is just kind of there. You're probably not really going to use that. Then we have Vanishing World Kai, another ability I really like. Unleash powerful beam forward that deals 154% attack damage to all targets in range continuously. This attack is so powerful that it will deal a one-time damage to all targets on screen. Don't take any damage while this skill is active. Right there, so that's quite nice. First up, we have Power Increase, which increases the damage multiplier by 10%, which, I mean, that's better than 5%, I guess. Yeah, so, but that's specifically for the beam. Next up, we have Power Increase for the all damage attack for the screen attack by 10%. Actually, hold on, let me... Okay, so I had to look over here at the wiki again. So, the 154 is just for the beam. The all-screen nuke is actually 158% attack damage there. So, that's quite nice. And then finally, we have Concentrated Explosion. Focus the power of the attack solely on the beam and increase his damage multiplier by 75%. However, enemies not within range of the beam will receive no damage. So you get a 75% multiplier, or 75% damage boost on the beam using this modifier chip here. The other two aren't really that good. I don't really like these two that much. I wish they were something else. But, it is what it is. So for the passive skills here, we have Super Armor, reduce damage taken by 15%, which is quite nice. Just inherently 15% damage mitigation. Nothing needed there, no HP requirement or anything like that. Very nice. Next up, we have Perfect Sync. The prep time for the preparation time for charge shot and Hell's Rolling reduced by 20%. So that's very, very nice there. You lose, 20% faster prep time for both of those. And then when HP is above 75%, damage increased by 15%, which is, again, that's something pretty nice there. So you have damage amplification in his kit just inherently, just kind of for existing above 75% HP. Except Float Shoes, which is pretty interesting that they implemented Float Shoes this way in this game. Become accelerated after using skills, increasing movement speed by 37.5%. This effect can only trigger once more after 4 seconds. So that's very, very, very nice for just quickly traversing through terrain. Except we have Life Aura. Gain a shield when being hit, can withstand 80% attack damage. Effect can only be triggered once more after second cooldown. when the beam of Vanishing World Kai hits a target, it reduces the target's defense by 45%, increasing damage dealt by 45%. So that's nice there. I like how they're having, multiple things caked into one passive there. And then finally, we have Lethal Resonance. When using a Vanishing World Kai, the first target hit by the beam will trigger an explosion that causes all targets in range damage to all targets on the screen, dealing 105% attack damage to all targets in range. For uptime, Vanishing World Kai is reduced by 20%. Now, it's worth noting that Vanishing World Kai has a really fat cooldown time anyway. But also, this as soon as something is hit by the beam, this gives you a screen nuke. So it's worth noting that if you opt to get rid of the, focus this here, with the passive 5 here, you can actually still end up getting a screen nuke. And if you don't use this one, you get a secondary nuke there, which is quite nice. So next up, we're going to take a look at the DNA, just because he has DNA in the Taiwan version. It shouldn't drop with the global version of the game. I don't think that Tron or Gate drop with their DNA, so I'm assuming it's not going to. But let's take a look at this. First up, we have Destroy Armor. When the maximum charge shot or held rolling hits a target, it will apply defense weaken to the target, increase damage taken by 45%. This damage, effect is shared with the defense weaken state caused by Vanishing World Kai. So it's just saying that it's shared by this passive here with Lethal Resonance. So you can't stack the no. This one, Life Aura. It's shared with that, so you can't stack on another one with this while hitting with the charge shot or Hell's Rolling, which is unfortunate, but that would be a lot of damage if you could do that, which Base Press Megaman would kind of appreciate. Next up, we have Buster Proficiency. Increased damage by 15%, reduced damage taken by 15% when equipping a Buster. So that's really, really good there, because now you have 15% damage and 15% damage mitigation. So you actually, while equipping a Buster, you end up having 30% damage mitigation. And while you're above 75% HP, you have 30% damage amplification as well. The downside is that you have to have a Buster active and that 75%. Otherwise, you're just at 15%, which actually still isn't bad, realistically. And, you want to use Busters with this character anyway, though, so. And then finally, we have Resonance of Souls. When you use Charge Shot or Hell's Roll, reduce a preparation time for Vanishing World Kai by 2 seconds. It's going to be triggered once more after a 3-second cooldown. I like this, but I would like to see this in his regular kit, to be quite honest. Not really much else to say about that. But let's take a look at the DNA here. And for the unique DNA, we have Shield Echo. When you have a shield, reduce damage you take by 8%, which, to my knowledge, only one I can think of off the top of my head that has that is Massimo. So it's interesting we have another character with that. And that's quite nice for damage mitigation while your shield is up, just because you'll take less damage while your shield is up on top of the, the 15% damage mitigation, or potentially 30% you have inherently. Other than that, we have some long range boost and adaptability here, which is nice because I'm pretty sure the range on your charge shot is decently long. Other than that, we have third preparation, adaptability, and amplification. 7% higher HP, reduced damage taken, or amplified damage. And we have Buster Amps, that Buster Mitts as well, which is actually quite nice to stack with the. I don't remember what it's. Oh, that's not Buster Maestro. Buster Proficiency. Yeah. So over here on slot 4, we have out of control resistance, no weapon res. Slow res, defense reduction, special attack, which is quite nice because you'll be inflicting that quite frequently with base parts of Mega Man. Crit damage, enhanced special attack. You don't have that inherently in your kit. Out of control res. Out of control res is okay. If you're really annoyed by Shikai or by Grijax, I guess you can slot that in somewhere. But you're probably better off just going with the damage implications there. But that will be it for the kit of Base Parts Megaman. So let's take a look at some weapons that will go well with him. Alright, so now it's time to take a look at some weapons that go well with Base Parts Megaman. And like most other Mega Man or X variants, he likes busters. And nothing like the tried and true Buster Melee comp, right? You can also do Double Buster if you want, but Double Buster isn't really that popular nowadays. I think Buster Melee is probably just overall better because you get more utility with it. But First up, Airbuster. Airbuster is just a very, very nice weapon to have. Gives you speed boost, so you can stack that with your float shoes and just zoom real fast. And then you have your hidden skill. You have damage mitigation here, which is quite nice, or rapid reload. Following that, the explosive bolt. Still, I think it's the best sniper buster in the game. I don't really like the way it looks, but it's fine. I always recommend player killer as a hidden skill over penetration, just because player killer you just have to exist with it, as opposed to penetration where you have to set up for the maximum damage output to get the max use out of penetration, so your shots ricochet. The Hawk Precision Buster is also an option. Again, I don't really like this weapon. I like the way it looks, but I don't like the way it plays. So you're supposed to be able to make use of your Quick Hunt, Eagle Eye, and Falcon's Wings. Basically what that does is that allows you to ignore terrain when you hit a target in long or mid range. But in order to trigger this, in the first place, you have to hit a target in medium or long range as it is. And I feel like on the maps where I would actually want this, I would have to initiate this by, hitting a target first with this. So on base quest Megaman, that can actually be okay, realistically. You can actually run Double Buster with explosive bolt because your charge shot can ignore terrain. So I think that's okay, because I don't think, at least to my knowledge, pretty sure I've gotten this when I just hit a target while this was active without using without specifically using the weapon. Almost forgot about Sniper Buster. If you don't have any other option, Sniper Buster is a decent pick. Sniper Buster is available for free. You can make it in the lab. I can't. Okay, here we go. You can make it in the lab here, which is level 8. So it's a free option. And then finally, we have where is it? Structured Laser for your Buster options. It is another sniper style Buster. So it's really good for PvP. And, you can just use this instead if you don't have explosive bolt or something. This does have high rate of fire, which is quite nice, but it's a little bit weaker than the Sniper Buster. But the Sniper Buster straight up is that it has a higher rate of fire. So as far as the melee weapons are concerned, kind of looks like your general stuff here as well. Nightmare is just good. Swing it around, get your attack boost. You know the deal by now. Or if you hit a target, you get an attack boost, and you stack that, and then you just go buck wild. Ancient Relic, again, this is a utility weapon, so you're just using this for one of the utility effects here, be it the Speed Rune, Assault Rune, or the Protective Rune. Though Base Buster Megaman already has access to Speed and Shield, so you don't necessarily need either one of these. But if you want to become Speed, use Speed Rune. I only really recommend Protective Rune for PvE content, especially because you can overwrite your more powerful shield with this week. Gotta mention the good old Grudge Axe. I cannot state how much I dislike this weapon. However, this weapon is really nice. As long as there are buffs that can be removed, this weapon will be good. That's basically it. Has a 60% chance to steal buffs off of a target and give them to you. So that's always cool. Because why just get rid of a buff when you can steal it? Speaking of getting rid of a buff, another option if you don't have the Grudge Axe here is the Singularity Slasher. This consistently gets rid of buffs 100% of the time. It can even get rid of up to 2 buffs, I believe, with the hidden skill. However, like I said, if I can just take your buff and make myself stronger, why not just use Grudge Axe instead? Like, that's just the better option more often than not. And then if you're using Base Course Megaman in PvE content, again, just pick the weapon that's most appropriate for the stage you're using. If you're using it for Jakob's, you want something with some healing, like the Crimson Scythe's hidden skill has healing on it, which you can use. There's no Buster with healing on it, to my knowledge, anyway. So there is that. I guess you could realistically use an Arc Cracker because this has inherent defense crush on it, so you can actually make use of Skullcracker shot. That is something you can do, but I don't really recommend this for PvP. Outside of that, other weapons that heal are the Monster Hunter Sword for bosses, so it's really good for that. You hit the boss, you get healing, and sprayers. You have the Heart Spray Gun, which is good for that. machine gun, super mag gun, and there's another melee weapon that heals the faster specialty. So, all right, for cards, again, this is generally going to depend on what you're doing, what's not covered in your DNA, but just some general purpose cards you can use if you're going to do, say, PvP. Player killer is always a good option because he doesn't have that inherently in his DNA, so that is something you can do. You can go double if you're going double buster. Then you're gonna want to use like the stopping 100 with one. You can even stack this because because this is blue green, double blue into green gives you double amplification for double busters right there. If you don't have stopping 100 with one, because I believe that card is from a monthly reward, I think the Douglas is actually for well, first of all, successfully completed, not Douglas. The character is Douglas, but it's successfully completed. This is actually for Buster Melee for the hybrid combo if you're using that. So that's something you can do again. Double blue green on this, so you can stack them. Which shouldn't be too bad. But if you're actually going to go do the hybrid combo, I highly recommend the Elite Hunters because Elite Hunter is just so much. It's just so good if you're doing Buster Melee, right? Like double amplification, double adaptability. So you get 18% damage amplification, 18% damage mitigation. So that's good there. And then on top of that, you're just having a buster on top of that. So then that's 15% more damage amp and damage mid. So you're at 33%. And then you go up to 48% because of your just existing passive for damage mitigation. And then if you're above 75%, you're at that same percentage for the damage amplification. So yeah, it's quite a bit of of inherent stuff in his kit there. But some things for player killer include the M Bison card, which was from the Street Fighter event. So hopefully you got a few of those. Also have the Akuma card, which is actually really good because Way of the Fist will stack with a player killer. It also gives you damage mitigation as well, so that's something to keep an eye out for. And if you don't have access to those, there are a few options in the card shop that you can get. I just have to scroll down and find them here. All right, here we are. The Life Aura card you can buy from the shop, and you can even stock this with itself. Player Killer 2 maxes to 5-star. Get a Player Killer 3 as well there and stack it with itself. And then we also have the Sigma X for a second form as another way to get access to Player Killer. If you don't have either of these, and for whatever reason, maybe you're out of tokens, so you're trying to do this like on a budget, but like RNG was slightly in your favor. There is the where is it? Violin card also has access to Player Killer. Again, another card you could stack with itself if you have two of these. I think these come from card packs, but you could just buy the other, the Life Aura and the X4. And then if you're really on a budget, your RNG is really bad. There are some cards, the other cards you can get from card packs. One of those is an A rank, the Mac card, which is an A rank card, so it's a lot easier to get. It's Killer 2. Again, you can stack it with itself. Two reds and a blue there. And the Will Gator card is something you can make as well. You can stack this with itself as well because green, yellow, so two of these. And you can get this from the research lab. Other than that, it's really going to come down to what you want to use. Like, I didn't mention it, but the Elite Hunters come from the guild, and if you're unlucky, oops, not that one. Where's guild development? And if you're unlucky, right here, guild development gives you access to Buster Melee. This card here, you should also get it from your guild, but it's a little bit easier to get. It's an A-rank card. Something else you can stack with itself. And if you want to go for a double buster, but again, you're trying to ball on a budget, you can get double amplification here with the Bitter Struggle card. That is an option. And there's one more card that I know off the top of my head that has buster, a double buster. And I also have to mention Excess Memories. Excess Memories is good because it's a red card that triggers off the blue, so you get the buster amplification 3 off of the Elite Hunters if you're going that route there. Extra 8%. But also, what's a Life Aura card? Life Aura card is double implication for double busters as well here. But this comes from the BN2 card packs, I believe. I believe it's the second of the Battle Network card packs that this comes with, which actually we might get a rerun of this event uh, for Base Cross Mega Man's release in Global, so it might be possible to just get this card again. Oh, I never realized before that you actually you hear bases, hear a clip from bass in that. But that will be it for, going over and reviewing the overview for Base Cross Mega Man. Now, should you pull for this unit? Probably not. He's kind of just pretty average at like everything that he does, unfortunately. And this is coming from someone who actually really likes him. Outside of if you just really like Mega Man Battle Network and you're excited for the Mega Man Battle Network collection, and you like Base Cross Mega Man, outside of that, I wouldn't really recommend pulling him unless you get him on the free pull. But yeah, I'm gonna be pulling for him because I'm a big Battle Network fan. I'm excited for the Battle Network collection, and I like Base Cross Mega Man, so I will be pulling for him. But he's not something that you need to add to your roster by any means. He's not like amazing in like some specific game mode. You can use him in various game modes. Like he's okay in PvP. He's okay for raid bosses. He's okay for race. Like he'll be okay in like everything that he does, which isn't bad to be honest. It's kind of like Jack of all trades, master of none, which that's okay. Anyway, before we end off this video, I want to throw a quick shout out to my YouTube channel members and my patrons. Thank you for supporting me, allowing me to do what I do. If you'd like to support me as a Patreon or as a channel member, you can find out how to do that down below in the video description. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.